In this video, I'm going to do a nice, juicy trig question from start to finish. And so let's dive straight in. So if x equals 3 sine theta and y equals 3 cos theta, determine the value of x squared plus y squared. And so for starters, I'm literally going to square this. And so be careful to keep it in brackets. So it's the x squared plus the y squared. That will then equal 9 sine squared theta plus 9 cos squared theta. And you can take out a 9. Anytime you're stuffed in maths, you can just take out a common factor. But the squareds are making me think sine squared plus cos squared is 1. And so the answer is just 9. So that's a great little question to get us going. The next identity question, 5.2. What we've got is we've got an angle that's way too big, and so we're going to fix that up by just minusing 360, and so that will make the answer 180 minus x. And for reductions, I'm just thinking to myself, what quadrant am I in? So 180 minus x, I'm in the second quadrant. What sign there? It's positive, so that's just positive sine x. I think it's good to keep yourself in a habit of keeping it in brackets. Often people get it all lost when you've got a plus or minus between terms. Where is minus x? Do I take out a negative? Don't do that. This is just an address. This is just telling you to go back a little bit. So you're in the fourth quadrant. What is sine in the fourth quadrant? It's negative. Then I've got this minus here, which structurally I want to keep there. Then I've got 180 minus, which is in the second quadrant, and cos there is negative. So negative cos x. And then lastly, whenever I see a 90 or a 270, I tell my students to highlight it. Why do you do that on your question paper? To remind yourself that it will actually change into something else. It will change from sine to cos. So 90 plus a little bit is in the second quadrant where sine is positive. So it becomes positive, and then I finish by doing the co-ratio. And so what I've got here is sine times negative sine is negative sine squared. And a cos times cos is cos squared. And a negative is a positive. And so you've got positive cos squared. Now, if you're in grade 11, you would probably leave your answer like that. Or if they said write it as a single trigonometric ratio, what you could do is you could change cos squared to be 1 minus sine squared, and then for you that might then simplify to just being 1 minus 2 sine squareds. And so as a grade 11, that's where you'd probably end. As a grade 12, you might look at this step and realize it's just cos squared minus sine squared, which is cos 2x, or 1 minus 2 sine squared x is cos 2x. So that's just chucking it in there for any matrics that are watching this video. On to 5.3. 5.3, whenever we see these Cartesian plane questions, we always want to drop a line to the nearest x. And I like to try and fill in whatever I do know. And so the x is obviously your x value. Your p is your y value. And they've given us that sine A, which is opposite over hypotenuse, is this. So opposite, and I'm always allowed to look from the origin. So opposite is P. I've got it there already. So then this must be your H. What's going through my head, at least at the moment, is I probably want to do a bit of Pythagoras to get X. But let's see what the question says. So yeah, they want us to get X. And so what we're going to do is x squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared minus the other side squared. The squared and the square root will cancel and leave me with just the contents of the surd. And that will then cancel and leave me with just 1. But I want to just be careful, not jump to the fact that my calculator says when I square root 1, I'm going to get 1. When you have a squared and you square root it, you always want to put a plus minus. A lot of people forget about that. And then in a Cartesian plane, you've got the luxury of just thinking, which answer is it? Is it both those answers? Is it plus? Is it minus? If x is on the left here, it must be a negative. And so I'm going to finish by saying x is -1. The other way is just to check what the answer was meant to be, and you know. But last one, what is cos 180 plus a in terms of p? You don't have to worry, oh, but a is over here, and what's 180 plus that? You can literally just go back to your reductions and say 180 plus is in the third quadrant. What is cos in the third? It's negative. So this will just reduce as negative cos A. So it will be negative, and then I'm always allowed to look from this origin angle in my triangle. And so cos is adjacent, -1, over hypotenuse. And that will then, minus minus will become a plus. And so my final answer is just 1 over square root 1 plus p squared. I hope that you found this video and this example of an exam question helpful. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Thanks.